I hope that this next podcast shines a light on all that introduction stuff that we did just previously, okay? Here's how we're going to do this. First things first, read the question. You got $1,000, okay? You're going to invest it for 5 years, right? And it's going to be an annual interest rate of 6%. Great. Let's complete the table based on annual, semi-annual, quarterly, and so on. Got it? Okay, so here we go. Remember your formula. AT equals A naught. There's your initial investment of $1,000, right? That's going to be 1,000. Your interest rate, of course, is going to be 6%, which you know is 0.06. And then we're going to determine the N values here. Your T, of course, is going to be 5 years. Look what we've got already. Oh my goodness, this is really, really simple. It's really simple and very, very straightforward. So let's go to each one of them. Annually means once a year, which means the number of compounding periods is going to be 1. But then the total number of compounding periods is going to be, remember, your T equals to 5. So if you're investing it for 5 years, you get money at the end of every year for 5 years. So if you think about this, N times T works out to be 5. Okay, your interest rate, is 0.06 divided by the compounding periods. In this case, it's 1, right? It's always divided by N. Look at the formula right here if you don't believe me. Okay, so let's derive the formula for this thing. Okay, so this is going to be $1,000, right? 1 plus your interest rate over N. So, okay, 1 plus your interest rate, 0.06, over the number of compounding periods, which is 1, to the power of N times T, which I've got here, 5. Okay? Well, if we want to figure this number out, that's pretty easy. What we're going to do here is we'll just pop into our calculator, 1,000, there it is, bracket, 1 plus that interest rate, which was 0.06 over 1. So I'm just going to put down 0.06. And we're going to take that to the number of compounding periods, total compounding periods for the 5 years, which just happens to be 5. Okay, 1 times 5, 5. Your answer here is $1,338.23. $1,338, okay? $1,338.22. That's what you're going to make at the end of 5 years. So if you think about it, you're going to make, by doing absolutely nothing, you're going to make $338.22 on your investment. That's pretty cool, just by investing it. Yeah, I like that. Okay, watch what happens now if we go semi-annually. Semi-annually, remember, the number of compounding periods changes to twice a year. Okay, so you get it for the first half, and then you reinvest the whole thing, and you get it for the second half. So in terms of time being 5 years, how many compounding periods are you going to have in total? 5 times 2. Of course, you're going to have 10. Now, look at your interest rate. Since your interest rate is an annual interest rate of 6%, semi-annually means you have to divide this by 2. That's it. So let's do the formula now. The formula is pretty easy. 1,000, 1 plus this interest rate, right? Because you're compounding semi-annually, 0.06 over 2, right? For a total of 10 total investments over the 5 years. Twice a year for 5 years is 10. Work this one out. Okay, let's go. Calculator, here it is. Notice how this is the same. It's still $1,000. You haven't changed that. Your interest rate is going to be 1 plus. Now you got to put in that fraction. So I'm going to go second alpha. I'm going to put in the fraction here of 0.06. And I want to show that my interest rate there is, of course, compounded semi-annually. Okay? Oops, there we go. Put the bracket in the right spot. To the power of course, we know that to the power of 10 because semi-annually, twice a year, right? Times 5 years means 10 total compounding periods. Watch how this number changes. Ready? Check it out. You actually make a little bit more interest. You make 1,343, so you're making a couple bucks more, and 92 cents. Okay, let's write that into our chart. Here we go. This is 1,343 92. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's go to quarterly. This is where stock markets come in. Quarterly, of course, means 4 times a year. We're investing for 5 years. 5 years at 4 times a year looks like 20 investments to me, right? Okay, now remember your interest rate, which was 0.06 now, has to be divided by the number of times it's invested, because remember, 6% annually means 6% per year, so you're dividing it over 4 investments. So how does this stack up to the other one? Real easy. Still $1,000. 1 plus, oh, there's your 0.06 over 4 for a total of 20 investments. Okay, let's see what that looks like on the calculator. 1,000 is still the same, right? You still have a bracket, you still have the 1 plus, but now again, I always like this fraction button here because it really helps me to see that that interest rate is an annual interest rate of 6%, but now I'm compounding it quarterly over 4. Okay, so that's kind of cool. To the power of, how many investments did we have? That's right, 20. 20 investments. 5 years, 4 times a year is 20 investments. Check out the number. It's even more. 1346.86. Okay, let's go. Let's write it down. 1346.86. We're making a little bit more money. I like it. Let's go to monthly. And then you'll see why credit cards charge you per month, right? It makes, I'll give you a hint, it makes the most amount of interest. Monthly means 12 times a year, every month. Think about this over 5 years. You're going to go 5 times 12. Oh my goodness, that's 60 payments over 5 years. Wow. Look at the interest rate, 0.06 over, oh my goodness, that's over the 12. And this is one of the reasons why I like that fraction button so much. Could you imagine putting 0.06, divide that by 12? You're going to get a really ugly decimal. Okay, so let's write out the equation, shall we? It's still $1,000, right? Your interest rate is 1 plus, but now your interest rate is based on this guy. Your annual interest rate of 6% divided over the months. To the power of, oh my goodness, look at that exponent. To the power of 60. Whoa, holy moly. Okay, so let's figure this out. Boom. Same. 1,000. Bracket 1 plus the interest rate, alpha 1. Let's do the fraction of 0.06, right? Over 12 compounding, it's compounding every month. Bracket to the power of, remember, do you remember what the number was? Now, 60 compounding periods. Check out this interest rate right now. Look how much money you made. 1348.85. The most amount of money is done monthly, isn't it? Holy moly. Okay, 1348.85. Nice. This is one of the reasons why credit cards charge you per month. They know by charging you per month, and if you don't pay your entire bill, they know they can make the most amount of money out of you. So, who makes the most amount of money? Monthly, of course, makes the most amount of money. But why? The reason why is because for 12 times a year, they take whatever interest rate and they throw it back in. Whatever you make in interest, they throw it back in, and then they start charging you interest on your interest. And they do that 12 times a year, and it accumulates a whole much faster. Now think about this for a second. That's one of the reasons why interest rates are very, very important, especially when you're trying to pay off a loan. The lower the interest rate you can get, the better off you are for paying off a loan. But for making money, the highest interest rate and the more compounding periods allows you to make more money.